everyone's talking about the new offense that the Saints are running. They have new OC Clint Kubiak and their son of Coach Gary Kubiak, who coached with the Shanahans for a long time, right? And everyone's talking about the Saints are running the Shanahan offense, and that's what's
Mm-hmm.
responsible for this offensive uptick. And it's just something that I hear all the time. I kind of have like a little bit of understanding, but I was hoping that you could explain to me in the audience like a deeper understanding of like what is this Shanahan offense that the Saints are running? Why is it so effective?
Man, so first, it's basically the West Coast offense. So they all kind of run a different variation of essentially that same thing. And what you're going to get during that West Coast offense is a lot of under center. So you're not going to see as much shotgun. Of course, they'll do shotgun. Every team in the league is going to run shotgun, especially in expected passing downs. But a lot of times you're going to see the quarterback under center. You're going to see a lot of outside run games. So the running outside of the tackles, like they're trying to get to the outside. But really, what they're trying to do is for a vertical seam or a cutback lane. So a lot of times you're going to see offensive linemen moving to the right or the left, whether that's a stretch, a zone, a toss, or a pitch, something to where everybody gets up and moves to the outside. And then so with doing so, a lot of times you're going to get the linemen trying to get up to the linebackers or whatnot. Most of the time they're going to come cutting them because, I mean, most of the time that linebacker is going to be faster than that offensive lineman. So if that offensive lineman is trying to go get to this linebacker that's coming this way, they're flowing, then he's going to do everything he can to just go take his legs out. And like, don't even play in the games. You know what I mean? Just go get him out the way. That way, the running back has a vertical seam. You saw Bijan Robinson get loose a couple of times after Zach Bond was sitting there getting cut like during the middle of the field. Man, it was
Yeah,
tough.
yeah,
But that's kind of what that outside zone game is like. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta find a vertical seam for the running back. So the running back normally is going to have a lot of patience. A lot of the really good running backs in those systems have a lot of patience. They kind of flow till they see a cutback, or flow until they just hit the hole and just keep bubbling up. Shoot, Saquon does a really good job in it as well. Whenever we kind of run to the outside a little bit, I think we're more of an inside zone run team, but that West Coast system, that Shanahan offense, a lot of times you're going to get the runs flowing to the outside, which then turns into play action passes. So you get to running a bunch of those enough. Now you got the linebackers cheating up. You have the safeties cheating up because they're trying to go stop that run because they're sitting there gashing you. So all of a sudden, boom, tuck that ball away. And all of a sudden you got somebody like, what's the name? Rashid
Rashid
Shaheed.
Shaheed. Yeah,
Now you got somebody like him bubbling over the top. So I think you're going to end up with like a lot of deep crosses, a lot of underneath routes, like things to where you kind of seeing somebody coming from one side and then up on the other side, because it's going to flow away from the play action. All of a sudden you see the passing game back there. So that's a lot of what you're going to end up seeing. Even we were talking off pod, man. You were talking about the what was it, pitch or outside zone, out of shotgun.
yeah,
Like, bro, that's really crazy, bro. Because like that means it's the same side run. Because most of the time, if I'm the quarterback and the running back is over here on this side of me and we in shotgun, you're assuming that the run is going that way. He's gonna cross my face and the run is going that way. So when you're talking about a pitch, first off, you're not gonna pitch it. If he's on this side, you're not pitching to that side. It didn't make any sense.
right.
So you going same side run, which is crazy because a lot of times as a linebacker, you calling the strength of your defense for the most part, depending on where the offensive linemen are. But then also if the front is kind of balanced, then you kind of going off of the strength is now going to be on the opposite side of where that running back is. So now you got everybody shifted to the other side. So now if we sitting there talking about same side run, we got our defense shifted to the other side, assuming he gonna cross the quarterback face. Now if you toss it that way, bro, now the linemen that sit there and got an immediate advantage because they got less players that they're trying to block over there on that side. So if they throw that out there a couple of times, bro, then I just don't even know what we're gonna do, man. I'm
Ugh.
just being real with you, bro. This could get nasty, bro. This could get nasty. That Shanahan offense, bro, it's top tier for sure.
Yeah.
For
Wow.
sure.
I really like that. We got to make sure we always get the coach speak on every episode.
That's true.
That was an NFL meat sandwich right there. That was a
I
Dave
appreciate you.
Cosell
Appreciate you.
right there. That was pretty good. um,
I
so
take it.
I actually had another question for you, Dave, because another thing that I've been more locked into football than I ever have this season, and another thing that I keep hearing everyone talk about is pre-snap motion. And right, I've heard people talk about Kellen Moore and the Eagles' offense bringing more motion, and how Jalen Hurts is just way better when there's pre-snap motion. And
Mhm.
I've heard people talk about the Saints, how last season they were last in pre-snap motion, and this season so far, I think they're in the top 10. And so I understand for whatever reason, motion seems to be effective in this modern day, and not doing it seems to be considered archaic. So I'm really just wondering, why is pre-snap motion so good? What information is that giving to the quarterback that allows him to be more successful?
Man, so there's a lot that goes into it. I think one of the main things that a lot of people think about, even myself, whenever we're thinking about pre-snap motion, is it makes the defense kind of show their hand a little bit to see if they are in man or if they are in zone. Like, hey, did the guy that was standing in front of the motion guy, did he run with him or did he stay in his spot? Did they just kind of rotate the defense a little bit? Like, it just kind of moves the picture a little bit for the quarterback to kind of see if, all right, man, do I now have the answer to the test a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, it's an opportunity for you to read the defense a little bit better. But what it also does is sometimes they'll sit there and bring a dude in motion just to have him stop in a certain spot to crack back block on like let's say the defensive end or something like that. So it's like, let's say you running a guy that's in the slot, let's say Cooper Cup, you know what I mean, for the Rams, bro, someone who
Mhm.
does it often, comes in motion, and then like right when he gets to the outside of the tackle, they call hut, and he just crackbacks right there on the defensive end. So that way you could possibly pull that tackle outside of Cooper Cup, and now you got like an outside zone run outside of that.
Hmm.
So it's just
Hmm.
there's just so much
Okay.
that you get to do off of the motion, bro. It's like it's because like I'm mainly focused on that run game, kind of. You know what I mean? So like bringing that dude into a situation where he can block, like you have one more guy over there, especially if they didn't motion with him. So it's like, okay, they in a zone, and now we got another player over here without them having another defender over here. But of course, also in the pass game, because I know obviously Derek Carr is having a pretty good year so far. I mean, I know they're running the ball a lot, but also he's not really turning the ball. I think he has one interception or whatnot, which isn't bad. I think that was
Yeah.
against the Cowboys or whatever. But
Hmm.
um, I think part of what helps him is in that West Coast offense with all the movement and things like that, it just kind of changes your reads. So it's like, all right, so now we just had maybe a two-man progression over there on the right side. Now we just brought this other person over here. So now you have a third person in the progression. And then I think that West Coast offense is pretty easy for just, I guess, quarterbacks who's able to be kind of just accurate enough. So let's say the Tua Tagovailoas, the Matthew Staffords, the Brock Purdy's,
Hmm.
the Matt Ryan's, bro, like the Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? Like these type of guys who is like, I don't have to utilize a lot of athleticism, my mobility. They're gonna move the pocket for you by running stretch plays and play action plays where it moves the pocket over to the side, so that way you don't have to utilize your athleticism to actually do that. And also, the passes are kind of, I'm not gonna say the passes are easy, but the concepts of them are a little bit easier. So it's like, this guy's not open, just hit this guy, just hit this guy. You know what I mean? It's simple. Like I've already laid it out for you and making it pretty easy. So really just hit the boxes, check the boxes, and you should be good to go. So that's
Okay.
just kind of what I see a lot in this.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see the vision there. And that's pretty dope. So okay, so we talked about the Shanahan offense, which is what the Saints are gonna be running on Sunday. We've talked about pre-snap motion. We're gonna see a lot of that. Now I'm wondering, and we can kind of get more into this matchup here.
Mhm.
What can the Eagles do to slow this down? Are you seeing anything?
Uh, Besides pray, I mean, nah, bro. I definitely think there's some defenses that kind of help prevent teams from being super successful in this type of system, in
Okay.
that West Coast system, that
Mhm,
Shanahan offense or whatnot.
mhm.
Uh, well, first, let me point out what's not great for it, and
Okay.
that's kind of what we run, which is
Oh,
like that. I know I ain't gonna lie to you, the three interior linemen with the two edge players or whatnot, bro. It's like essentially kind of running like a 3-4. I know ours isn't called a 3-4, but it's basically a 3-4, three down linemen, four kind of linebackers or whatever. Bro, to me, I think that's the easiest formation to run against, just because of the fact that everybody's kind of set up to already be getting double teamed, and for you to just kind of work up to the linebackers and for
Hmm.
them to almost get a free release to the linebackers. I think we legitimately need what's called a bear front, and that's
Hmm.
where you have like five D linemen actually hand in the ground right there. So it's almost kind of like mano y mano, like
Yeah.
everybody has a person. You know what I mean? So that way it's less likely for them to be able to get up to the linebackers. So now it allows for your linebackers to play a little bit freer, so that way they can just kind of free flow into the open holes or whatnot. So that way there's no cutbacks. Everybody's responsible for their own little gap right there for them to stay there. But I think when you only have like three interior linemen with inside the five offensive linemen, bro, it's just easy. All right, we're gonna go head to the right, we're gonna head to the left. So that backside guy, we really don't have to touch it all. So it's really ends up being 5-on-4 immediately, and we just flow up to the backers. And then you hope that your running back can make the one linebacker miss. You know what I mean? So it's like it's an easier situation for them. But you got five linemen right there on top of five linemen. You're gonna make them have to bring in their tight ends, make them have to do all this other stuff. But also, if they're doing that, now we can bring our safety down into the box as well to help. Because it's like, hey, they've already condensed everything. And then for the most part, I'm kind of comfortable with the outsides kind of doing their things. And man, I mean, hopefully, they're able to do their thing. And man, especially Slade. But I think we're having a five interior or five linemen right there that'll kind of stop everything, or just running like a 4-3. So that way, you got the four down linemen or whatnot, but you got like three linebackers right there. So it's like, even though they have the advantage with the five offensive linemen versus the four linemen, we still got three linebackers right there, though. You know what I mean? So even if one gets climbed up to, there's still two other ones to be right there inside to try to make the play. So we can run some type of like bear front where we got five down, over running like some type of 4-3, where we bring in an extra linebacker to kind of help. I think that may help because, especially with us running smaller guys like Nolan Smith or Bryce Huff, like people who aren't just known for stopping a run, like that makes me a little bit nervous, with running that normal defense that we normally run.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
I have
see.
a I have one more question before we jump into our key matchups for this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about blitzing because one
Ooh,
thing that was apparent to me last week and was just kind of frustrating is that Vic is just not going to send anybody. And listen, I'm obviously very far from an NFL coach, but just sitting on my couch watching how ineffective our D line was, I'm like, can we send somebody? Can we
try
maybe
something.
make Kirk, nervous? Something.
I
And
feel you.
Vic is just committed to not
Yeah, bro.
doing that. Is blitzing at all effective here, or do you think that we should just keep doing what Vic does? What do you think?
I don't know if this game is the best time for us to blitz.
Okay.
I know we were talking earlier about how fast Derek Carr's been getting the ball out of his hand. I
Yeah.
think what was it? It was 46% of his passes have been like released within 2 seconds of the
Yeah.
snap. But like he's doing a really good job getting that ball out. You know
Yeah.
what I
Fair.
mean? And it's like I think he understands like his limitations. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, let's just go ahead and take advantage of these athletes that we have over here on the outside and the one coming out of the backfield, and the one who's a quarterback, tight end, fullback, running back, kick returner, you know what I mean, and Taysom Hill. It's like, bro, I think they just want to go ahead and make sure he plays point guard and just kind of dishes it out to each guy, unless they want to take their chances down the field, like I said with Shaheed, where they sit there and have like seven people blocking for him. You know what I mean, just to make sure that he has a clean pocket for that deep pass. But so I would actually be maybe a little afraid of blitzing because if Carr's sitting there kind of reading his hots and ready to go, we sit there and blitz, man, that just might dink and duck us all the way up the field.
Yeah.
I will say this. Obviously, we're coming off of a loss, but low scoring game. We didn't give up much, and that offense. Well, first off, I'm assuming that Kirk Cousins is somewhat healthier than he was the week before because he played a lot more under center that week against us than he did in the previous week. So,
Yeah, he looked.
um,
He looked. Yeah, he looked better to me.
right, right. So, but I was saying that to say that I think that Atlanta offense was essentially a full go for the most part. You know what I mean? It's yes, the beginning of the year, so they might not be running on all cylinders just yet, but everybody who's supposed to be playing for them was playing for them. You know what I mean
Mhm.
on that offense. So it's like for us to sit there and hold them to what was it like
It was
20,
22.
22? Yeah,
It was
22.
22.
Like not too
And
bad.
really, to be honest, we held them in the teens. It shouldn't have been 20.
Facts.
It would shouldn't
Facts.
have
Right.
been 22.
We saw that last drive. So I'm almost thinking that like I think the goal for Vic is let's not get killed. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna give you but so much or whatever, but we're gonna buckle down in the red zone so that way we're gonna try to hold you to three and things like that. So um I don't know, bro. I think we'll be good to go without blitzing, just because I think it kind of I don't know forces him to keep not making mistakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna have to throw it to the right person every single time with us actually having people there. So let's try not
Okay.
to blitz then, you know.